Hello, and welcome to R&R Reviews Unscripted. You're here today with the Rogers Brothers, and we're just going to break down and talk about our most recent reviews and the reason that we felt the way we did. Today's topic is going to be the reboot of Aladdin, the timeless Disney classic that almost all millennials love and cherish deeply.
Alert! If you have not seen Aladdin, please stop listening now.
But seriously, who hasn't seen Aladdin before?
So, as you'll see on our Facebook page, we gave the live-action Aladdin 4.7 out of 10 points.
Once again, we'd like to mention, as always, a 4 is considered a passable, watchable film, so 4.7 is just slightly above that.
I think this is one film that we reviewed that we are on opposite sides of the spectrum on.
Yes, our opinions varied very much. I gave a more just above average type of rating, and Nick over here gave it more of a under average type of rating.
Correct.
So let's hear what you have to say. Defend yourself.
So I think that this movie was just the original done over again, which obviously that's what a reboot is, but why make a live action version of a cartoon if you're literally just going to make the same film? What's the point if we're not going to get to see a new spin or new interpretation on it? I mean, everyone in this movie was so tightly molded to the characters of the cartoon, with similar dialogue even being said, similar jokes being made, that they couldn't even put their own spin on the characters.
I agree yet disagree with that, because they have to pay homage to the fans that grew up with it, and especially when it comes to something as iconic as like Robin Williams' Genie. I mean, that's a hard gap to fill, and so I think they use a lot of the same dialogue, a lot of the same jokes to appease to the fans that have grown up and loved it. But I do think that Will Smith still gave it a bit of his own feel.
And I completely disagree with that stance. I think that Will Smith couldn't give his own spin because he was so stuck into this mold. And again, with something iconic as Robin Williams' performance, we don't need to touch that. It should be left alone in history forever as a monument to who Robin Williams was. I mean, we're not seeing remakes of The Shawshank Redemption, a famous iconic movie, because it was perfect the way it was, and we're not going to touch it because we want everyone to remember it for what it was.
Yes, and I can agree to that. I think in this instance, there's a bit of a fever that goes with this. I mean, this isn't the first Disney live-action reboot that they've done from the animated films, back in the 90s. They've been, kind of rolling on this for a minute, and they are continuing, as you know, with The Lion King and so forth, Mulan and such, to roll forward more. So it's something we're going to continue to see for sure, but, I think that it does hold tight to the plot and the same exact storyline. There are very few minor details that switch. Of course, we have Jasmine's sort of change as she becomes the sultan of the city, and that desire to run the city and take over, kind of a woman empowerment moment in there. But we also have a change with the ending and how Genie is dealt with once he's freed.
Changes that did need to be made so that the movie could meet up with what our culture is now. A feeling I get very strongly from this movie is that this was something that Disney just pushed out because of how much money Beauty and the Beast made. I feel like they didn't care how it was shot, how it was done. Get it? Let's throw it out there and make a bunch of money off of it. I really strongly get that feeling from this movie.
There was definitely moments I felt that it was forced or a bit rushed within the plot or even some of the music within it. But I feel like it finally, eventually, after like the first 20 or 30 minutes, fell into place, and kind of flowed in a way that I was comfortable with and began to enjoy. I will say this, that the majority of the movie looks like it was done on green screens. A lot of it was animated, and I think that sometimes you lose the true authentic feel when you're just rolling through green screens on everything. You know what I mean?
Right, and I understand that. It makes a difference, with the acting and the genuine feel of the movie when you have things like that. All in all, though, the set was beautiful. The costumes were great.
Yes.
The choreography was well done.
Yes, they even added a bit of a rap touch to some of the songs. I also think the cinematography, the special effects, CGI was great. Genie looked great. I thought that they did a very good job with Magic Carpet, even the CGI animals. Lots of animals in this Disney film.
I loved all our CGI characters. I think that they were some of the best parts of the film. I also think that when that's your case in a live action film, that kind of means you might be in trouble.
I have to disagree with you, though. I think that the CGI animals were great. I don't think it was the best best part of the film. I think that overall they did what they could to please the nostalgia for the people that loved it from years ago while still embracing a whole new generation of fans. In the end, I think that the rating speaks for itself. This movie was not going to blow you out of the water. It's not going to change your life. If you go in with an expectation that this is a reboot, that it's the same thing basically remade over with a slightly different style, then you won't be disappointed. But I think that if your expectation is to exceed that, then you're going to be. And in our hearts, especially us millennials and those that were raised in the 90s, definitely hold Aladdin dear to us, and nothing is going to change or beat the original. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you again for tuning in. This is R&R Reviews Unscripted. We've been speaking about Aladdin today. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and our YouTube page, R&R Reviews, and check out all of our upcoming reviews, all of our unscripted videos there.
If you have any suggestions or topics you'd like us to review, be sure to email us at rogerscinemahhood@gmail.com. That's Rogers, ROGERSCINEMAHOOD@gmail.com. It's a beautiful day in the cinema hood.
Once again, you're here with the Rogers Brothers, and we'll see you next time.